Namaskar, dear devotees and friends. Today is Sunday morning. We are supposed to discuss about our Yoga Vashishta. But then I thought, today is the end of Navaratri and the Vijaya Dashami, Dashera. So we will discuss something else. So I choose this topic, does God truly bless? Let us discuss about that. We were worshipping, then we will be worshipping the whole month continuously, particularly the Hindus all over, the Shakti, the divine power. This divine power, the Shaktas, they believe, the worshippers of the Shakti, they believe, it is from the divine power everything comes. I will begin the talk chanting from the Chandi. Tvam Vaishnavi Shaktim Ananta Virya Vishwasya Bijam Paramasi Maya Sammohitam Devi Samastametad Tvam Vai Prasanna Bhuvi Mukti Hetu Tvam Vai Prasanna Bhuvi Mukti Hetu. You are the Vaishnavi Shaktim, you are the supreme power, and you create the whole universe. Vishwasya Bijam Paramasi Maya. How you create? Through your unexplicable power, that is called Maya. Sammohitam Devi Samastametat. With that power of Maya, whole world is deluded. They cannot see the truth. They cannot understand the truth. And that is the play that you are constantly playing and enjoying, and you want that the creation, the best creation, the human being should find you out, should realize you. And that is the game you go on playing, and unless and until you become gracious, no one can get the mukti. Tvam vai prasanna bhuvi mukti hetuhu. Your grace is the only way by which one can go beyond the circle of birth and death and realize the truth. Friends, today is Navaratri ending. It began on the 17th, and here it is Navami, it's called Navaratri. And also I think in India it is already Dashami. Dashami is called Dashera, Vijaya Dashami. In the Navaratri, in the 9th day, on that particular day, Sri Ramachandra, he vanquished, he defeated the Ravana, and then he started back to the Ayodhya. And he was coming with a flying chariot. That was, in those days, it is very peculiar, that description of the chariot, just like any aeroplane. The flying chariot, he was coming, but it took a long time to reach Ayodhya from Sri Lanka. So why? Because he was getting down in almost in all the ashramas. In his the 14 years exile, he met so many people, and he was grateful. Sri Ramachandra and Ma Sita, they were grateful, and they wanted to greet those rishis, the holy people, their families, and every time they were going and getting down and greeting and coming. So it took some time, and the day the Ramachandra reached to Ayodhya, the city was lighted, and that is Deepavali. And that they call the celebration of light. After the darkness, the light has come. I again and again, I really wonder, and again and again I say, the Hinduism, they express the truth through different type of stories, symbolic. Each and every house they will put so many hundreds and thousands of the lighted candles, and it will be whole city will be lighted. So like this it goes. Nowadays they use the electric lights, but it should be beautiful. And the Ramachandra appeared on that day. Why? He has vanquished, he has conquered, and the Ravana. And who was Ravana? Is a representative of the bad thoughts, bad ideas. But Ravana was not ordinary person. You all know. They say the Dashamukha Ravana. And sometimes in Delhi and many other places they will be burning the effigies of the Ravana, and as if a terrible demon. But no, he was a very, very learned person. His intellect, the 10 intelligent people's intellect it was in Ravana. One person, he was equal to 10 intelligent people. So Dashamukha. The expression is like that, and we took it very literally, and we thought that is 10 heads, and there will be a lot of warns about that. If Ravana catch cold, what will happen? Because so many noses, how he will manage? Like that goes. And Hindus are all like this. They will be having fun with their own gods and goddesses also. But the Ravana was a really, really intelligent person. He was a Brahmin, and he was intelligent, and he was truly devoted to Shiva, Lord Shiva. There are so many stories are there. And he composed a beautiful stotra on Lord Shiva. And sometimes I heard this monk, a wandering monk, he was chanting, is so beautiful. This Ravana, he was slain by one avatara of Vishnu, that is Sri Ramachandra. Why? The Ravana made a great mistake. What is that mistake? It says the Ravana's sister Shurpanaka, he was manhandled, not properly behaved by Lakshmana. The nose was cut and something like that. I don't know much. But this is the way they insulted. The Ravana became angry naturally. The sister was insulted, tortured. The Ravana became very angry. But instead of challenging Rama and Lakshmana in the war, what he did? He took the garb of a sannyasi. Sannyasi is supposed to be same-sighted. So each and every one believes sannyasi. Sannyasi should not behave in such a way that I belong to this team and not to that team. I belong to this place and not to that place. Never ever. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam for the sannyasins. Each and every one, everywhere, they are all ours. That is sannyasi. The sannyasi, that is the reason the sannyasi never go and join in any political movement or anything. Completely different. Ravan took the garb, the dress of a sannyasi, and obviously each and every one they believe sannyasi. Sannyasi cannot. That is the faith. A sannyasi is always good. It cannot deceive anyone. Ravana took the garb of a sannyasi, and then otherwise it would have been very difficult for him even to abduct Mother Sita. Sita was a very powerful lady. It was not so easy. Sita didn't take any defense. She knew that it is a sannyasi, and she went out. That is the story all of you know. She crossed that boundary that the Lakshmana gave, believing a sannyasi. She was not going to Ravana. Ravana in his own form, had he come, sure the Sita would not have come out of that, her cottage, and abducted and tortured Mother Sita. And Sita, the lady, is the embodiment of Shakti. The Hindus, they believe that the Shakti is a mother. She has all power, capacity. But at the same time, because she is having the mother, she is having it controlled, the balance because of the motherhood. Motherhood means the love, the affection, the compassion, all that wonderful qualities. So that is the power, mother power, Shakti. The Ravana made the mistake. Even today, many people, when they are torturing the girls and the ladies and the wives, the mothers, they don't know how much sin they are committing. And they don't know what is going to happen. Right this moment they may manage, that they won't be punished, maybe. But sometimes the society becomes like that. But the punishment will surely be there. And they are going to suffer and suffer terribly. So that Ravana was suffered. Friends, now what actually happened? So it says, what is the Pramana? A Pramana is, there are three types of Pramana. By three types, we can prove the God's blessing. So let us discuss that. What are the Pramanas? One is Shabda Pramana, scriptural proof. Second is Anumana Pramana, inference. We get the proof by inferring, oh, it happened, so it related to this, like that. And third is Prathaksha Pramana, the direct experience, and that is the proof. So these are the three. So let us see what happened. In the Devi Bhagavat, the Lord Vishnu himself, he was in great difficulty. And because from him only the two demons were born, Madhu and Kaitaba, and they wanted to kill the Brahma. And yesterday when we were observing the Durga Puja, that is there in the YouTube, you can observe that. So I was talking about this. The Madhu Kaitaba, from the weeks of the year of Lord Vishnu, they were born, but at the same time, because from the filth they were born, so they were bad people. They wanted to kill the Brahma, who was born, created by Vishnu himself. So the Lord Vishnu is creating, the God is creating good and bad. And bad and good are fighting. And when that was happening, naturally the good cannot fight with the bad, they go to God, the source, for the help. And here the Vishnu himself started to fight with these Madhu and Kaitava, but he was not able to vanquish them, to control them, to defeat them. Why? Now in the Devi Bhagavat, the sloka number 40, with nicely mentioned, he is praying to the Divine Mother, the Divine Power, Shakti. Namo Devi Mahamaye Srishti Samharakarini Anadi Nidhane Chandi Bhukti Mukti Pade Shive. O auspicious one, Shive, O auspicious one, you are the only source of bhukti and mukti. The mukti, the liberation, bhukti, the enjoyment, both in your hand. I bow down to you. Namo Devi Mahamaye, the great mother, the divine mother. Srishti Samharakarini. You are creating, at the same time you are dissoluting the creation. Anadi Nidhane Chandi. You are Anadi, you are eternal. There is no beginning of it. And you are Chandi, that addressing the Chandi. Then 48th verse, the Vishnu telling in the Devi Bhagavat, it is written by the Panchananda Tarka Ratna. Shahajyam kurume mata khinnoham yuddha karmana diptauto barodanena tabo devarti nashane. Shahajyam kurume mata. O mother, please help me. Does God help? That is the discussion. Here the Lord Vishnu, he is praying for the help to the Divine Mother. Khinnoham yuddha karmana. 5,000 years I am fighting with them. and I am tired, and I am sure that I won't be able to defeat them, rather they are going to kill me. Diptauto Barodanena Taba Devarti Nashane. You give me the power, bless me, so that I can defeat them. Hantum mam uddato papo. Look at those two devil. They are going to kill me. Hantum mam. Their mam means to me, they are going to kill. Hantum. Kim karomi ka yami mam. What shall I do? Where shall I go? Vishnu is telling. The Lord Vishnu, in that Devi Bhagavad recorded, he is telling like this. Then what will happen? The Devi, she smiled and told, no, you are not, nothing is going to happen to you. You better go and fight. I am going to delude them. How the Devi, the Divine Mother, the Divine Grace, helping by deluding the opponent. When the delusion is also in her power, it is in her hand, so she is deluding those. And afterwards the story goes, those two, they became very egoistic, and they told the Vishnu, oh, you can't kill us in any way except this. And when they said that, the Vishnu killed them by that way. So this is the Shabda Pramana, the scriptural proof that the God does help. God is helping. But how? Not that she is fighting on my behalf, but giving me the strength and taking away the strength from my opponent. By that way, the Mother is helping. And in the Navami day, that Sri Ramachandra, as we were discussing, that he defeated the Ravana. Ravana was a very, very powerful person. But the Ravana was afraid. Why? Though he worshipped Goddess Durga, but it was not perfect, it was not complete. So the fear was there in his mind, in the Ravana's mind, what to do and what not to do. That's why Ravana himself didn't come directly. What he did, he was going on sending all his relatives, all his commanders, all his soldiers, and by that way his brothers, and by that way even his son. And they were being killed, they were being vanquished by Sri Ramachandra and Lakshmana and the Hanumana. Every time, ultimately Ravana came. Ravana was very powerful. Even then, he was hiding, he was trying to save himself. When there is no other option, then he had to come out. Why? Because Ravana knew that he has done a great wrong. Friends, here, those who know the Ramayana, for them it is easy. Those who doesn't, it is better to go through that book. Not the complete Ramayana, it's a huge and big one. The small stories are there, very interesting stories. You can read that. One of the brothers of Ravana, Vibhishana, he deserted Ravana's camp and joined Sri Ramachandra. This is the symbol that one, even if he is my father and my grandfather or uncle or brothers, if they are not with the truth, with the dharma, with the righteousness, I should not be with them. That is called dharma. No relation can stand on my practicing the truth. So Vibhishana, sometimes in Indian, the way they say, who is betraying, they call Vibhishana. No, Vibhishana didn't betray. Vibhishana took the right path. Vibhishana came and joined with Ramachandra. Who is Ramachandra? The truth. The Ramachandra is the God. So that's why Vibhishana coming and joining the Sri Ramachandra. But the Ravana, as because he tortured and he understood that by abducting the Sita, he has lost his power. So how God is helping us? Deluding the mind of a person who was equal to 10 intelligent people, Ravana also. So does God help? Of course. He is helping us, she is helping us, the God is helping us by giving us the proper understanding. In the Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna says, Buddhi Yogam Dadamaham. The God gives us the perfect intellect. Someone will come and tell you that this is the way you should do, it is better, and immediately your mind will also respond, yes, this is the thing that I am going to do. So that is the way. It's always the God is helping us. But you know, friends, sometimes because of our ego and sometimes because of our busyness, and we are so busy, we don't listen to this type of talks. We don't like it. It may be because of our past karma. The original, the real, the advices is not reaching our heart. That also happens. And then we blame God. Oh, God is not helping us. Not like that. God is trying to help. But we are not understanding. So this way the God is helping. The story of the Prahlada, you know that Lord Prahlada, and that is the beautiful story. His father, Hiranyakashipu, was against the dharma, righteousness. His father was always the power and enjoyment of the worldly things. So who is a demon? A terribly ignorant person who thinks this world is permanent and it wants to enjoy everything of this world through the physical power. And he'll be killing, he'll be cheating, he'll be looting, and just to grab the wealth so that he can enjoy. What enjoyment? Nothing is there. There are the special type of flights are there nowadays. Previously it was good horses or something like that. Now what is there in the flight? They can stretch their leg and lie down, that's all, and nothing else. But if you go to any ordinary, maybe it will be bumping a little, but you are reaching the same destination. And you sitting over there, just that much. Of course, but if you are physically weak, it is better. But some people, the millionaires and billionaires, they are unnecessarily utilizing that money, not giving it to the poor. And a little money, if they give to the poor, the whole family will be supported, and that is called dharma, and that is called righteousness, and then the blessings of God will come. So Prahlada, who grew up among the holy people and developed the devotion for the Lord Vishnu, and he told his father very humbly, no, I am not going to follow. It's not possible for me. His father tried to kill him for many ways, but couldn't be successful. Does God really bless? Prahlad is the proof. God does. So that is the way we have to develop the faith, and we have to believe in God. We have to pray to God. Another story, the children's books, they are there depicting these stories. And previously, all over the India, particularly, I don't know other places, the stories they used to read, and one kind of the morality is to grow. Now, if I am always with the good, I am good. The other day, a group of young people came to visit me, and they were asking all around, the people are bad. How can you be good? I told, keep yourself in the right path, and always you have to be intelligent to deal with this type of people as maximum as possible, but always pray to God. God, put me in such a condition so that I can pray to you, I can follow the righteous path. God will give you. So that is the faith. I am not going to support any way the bad things. The Prahlada, Dhruva, these are the beautiful, the pramanas, the proofs that God does help. Dhruva's story, in a brief, He wanted to go and meet his father, but the second mother didn't allow him to go near to his father. The small little boy, he was not understanding why. But that mother won't allow, the queen won't allow. And he came back to his mother, and the lady was banished from that kingdom, and she was in a very humble way in a small cottage in a hut she was living. She told, son, I cannot help you. Your father is the king, very powerful. And then the Dhruva asked, who can help me then? The mother, maybe casually, told the son, only the God can help you, because God is more powerful than your father. The Dhruva then went into the forest, just calling, God, where are you? Please come and help me. I like to go and meet my father. And his only desire, the prayer, that I should go and sat on the lap of my father, because another brother, step-brother, he is sitting on the lap of my father. That was. And you know the story goes, then the Narada came. When he was the innocent boy, he was going on praying and crying. Then a help came from the God in the form of a guru. The Narada came and told the boy that you cannot realize God in this way. Sit over here. Don't roam around. It is a dangerous place. And the animals are there. So you better sit under this tree, and this is the way. Narada gave the mantra of the Vishnu and just go on calling. And ultimately the Lord Vishnu came, and the Vishnu told, what do you want? And by that time the revelation came, understanding came, and this young boy didn't say, I like to go and to sit on the lap of my father. Rather he said, I want you. So that is exactly called knowledge. Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna again and again he said in different places, suppose the God is revealing himself before you, what you are going to pray to him? Give me this, give me that? No. You have to ask God, please bless me so that I can be always with you, and you should be always with me. So that is the way. So it goes on praying. Friend, God does help through the gurus, the advisors, the spiritual advisors, and the true holy people. Now, the Shabda Pramana. After the Shabda Pramana, let us go to the Anumana Pramana, inference. And when we are going to discuss about the inference, whether does God truly bless, the first incident that I will say, that this is the embodiment of the divine power, Ma Sharada Mani Devi. In the scripture they say, the mother power, the goddess, the divine power, she revealed herself in Navarupa, in 9 different forms. That is called Navadurga. Durga, the one who is removing the miseries. Durgati Harini. Harini means removing. Durgati means the misery. When the one who is removing the miseries is Durga, and in 9 different forms they are Mahagauri, Skanda Mata, Kushmanda, Shaila Putri, Kattayani, Brahmacharini, Kalaratri, Chandraghanta, and Siddhidatri. Again, this power, it manifested in 10 different forms before the Lord, the Shiva. That's called Dasha Moha Vidya. Vidya means the knowledge. Moha, the supreme knowledge. They also manifested in 10 different forms. One is called Bhuvaneshwari, Bagala, Kamala, Matangi, Shodoshi, Tripura Sundari. Shodoshi and the Tripura Sundari are the same. Tara, Kali, Chinnamasta, Dhumabati and Bhairavi. Friends, I will show you this our magazine Chicago Calling. If you this is called 24th number of our magazine Chicago Calling. Here is a beautiful, you can see that the front page itself, I will remove this one, and the front page itself, this our Dasha Mahavidya and Navadurga pictures are there. In between the planets, how these planets are connected, and these planets are influencing the individual souls. The very interesting article, and based on Ma Saradamani Devi. If you like, you can download and read the 24th number of the Chicago Calling, our reason. I am not going in details to those, but Ma Sharadamani, the embodiment of the divine power, the Dasha Mahavidya and Navadurga combined in one form. How this mother blessed, this Ramakrishna mission, which is one of the very famous monastic organization and spiritual organization all over the world, without the backing of any kings or the business houses, just ordinary monks spreading all over the world. People, they are coming from different, the linguistic groups from different countries. They are translating the original books into their languages, reading it, developing small groups. And it started with only one prayer and blessings. In Bodh Gaya, Mother prayed to the God. The God, her God is Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna. And Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, in reality, he is the Kali, the divine power, and God himself. Prayed to that God and said, you came and you gave the wonderful teaching. The all is going to be lost after your passing away. So rather, those young disciples of yours who are now loitering here and there, let them start an organization. The Buddhists, they were having the organization, but the Hindus were not. Hindu monks were not having any organization. They used to go to their teachers, they used to get the training, monastic training, and then they will go away individually, starting, practicing, and then also propagating that. But as a organization, means rules and regulations should be there, and all the monks should be in one place, one ideology, one way. Very difficult for the Hindus. Because about the religion and the spirituality, the very freedom is there. So much of freedom is there. Swami Vivekananda started that with the blessings of Ma Sharadamani. Slowly, now it's a very popular monastic and spiritual organization in the Bodh Gaya. This is a Anumana Pramana, because Mother prayed, and it is recorded in her biography. Very simple language, but really it happened. Swami Vivekananda openly admitted that behind his success in the parliamentary religion in 1893 in Chicago, it was Mother's blessings. Though Swami Vivekananda saw his guru, Sri Ramakrishna, beckoning him and asking him to go to the West, because by that time India was under the subjugation of the foreign rules for more than 800 years, lost all originality. Hinduism was completely misunderstood, and the practices, it was terrible. All the superstitions entered into the Hindu body. Still now it is there. It will take some time to eradicate, to clean up all those. And he was asking to go and propagate. Why? Because the whole attention was to the West. They lost their self-confidence. Vivekananda came, young man of 29, without any support, without any credential, but everything was arranged. And he got all the high and powerful houses, their doors were opened for Swami Vivekananda. And that is the way Vivekananda was successful. But he said it is because of the mother's blessing. Why? He wrote a letter to the mother. Mother, shall I go? Even when his guru is asking to go, instructing him to go, he is asking the blessings of the mother. Mother wrote. In those days they used to use that very cheap way of communication, postcard. I think nowadays also it's still there. She wrote the postcard, and that reply Swami Vivekananda carried with him. That is the blessings. Anumana Pramana, that God does bless. And this time in a postcard it came. Girish Chandra Ghosh, he recognized the Divine Mother. Girish was living a different type of life, many of you know. I don't have time to go in details. You know that Girish was a drunkard and many other things. So he never wanted to look at the divine form of the mother. But his son was insisting that is the mother on the other terrace in North Calcutta. Is very close by. So from one terrace you can see the another. That child, he noticed, the young boy noticed Divine Mother. The father, that is Divine. Girish immediately turned his face, closed his face and said, no, I should not look at that divine form. But the boy was insisting, you must go and we must meet. So ultimately the Girish came, and he never looked at mother's face. He was looking at the feet of the mother, and he was crying and trembling. There's a unique, wonderful way that depicted in the life. The mother, I'm a sinner. I cannot look at you. I am not supposed to touch you. But my son is insisting, so I have come. Please forgive me. But the moment he got up, he saw the face of the Divine Mother. According to the tradition of in those days, the ladies, they used to cover their faces. And even if you go to our villages in the northern part of India, the ladies are covering their faces mostly. So this, they won't disclose themselves to the unknown people. But the Girish saw the face of the mother, and he almost shouted, oh, is it you? Then other people asked, what happened? He said, I was going to die when I was a child, and doctors told they cannot help me. The one day a divine lady came, sat by the side of my bed, and she told, no, my son, you are going to be all right, don't be afraid. And this is that same mother. So when the Girish Ghosh, by age she was elder than the mother, but still he saw this mother, the Divine Mother, is helping. Friends, I will conclude this Anumana Pramana with a wonderful incident that happened in the organization Ramakrishna Mission. In 1917, the then British Governor of Bengal, Lord Carmichael, he declared Ramakrishna Mission as an anti-social organization, because the people, they gave different type of information. The young boys, that was not normal. The young boys, they are together and they are meditating, they are praying, but the people used to think that they must be plotting something against the government, maybe doing something wrong, and like that. So it was reported to the governor. Governor, he declared it. And what happened? And in his darbar, in his open speech, in the month of December, he declared that 1916 December, he declared that Ramakrishna Mission an anti-social organization. And you can understand, it was the British rule in India, and the governor of Bengal, he is declaring an organization in this way. Who will help? Who will visit? So it was a terrible condition. And what to do? Just imagine an organization banned by the government. what they will do. And in that situation, the Saradanandaji Maharaj, direct disciple of Bhagavan Sri Ramakrishna, he went to Ma Sharadamani Devi and told Mother, now what to do? Mother, Ma Sharadamani Devi, in a very simple, casual way, she said, why don't you go and talk to that gentleman and say that we are religious people, we are monks, we have no connection with this politics and all the bad things. Just go and tell him. The getting an opportunity to meet the governor was not an easy thing. The Indian governors, it is so difficult to meet them, and you can imagine the British governor. But as because Mother said with the great faith, and then our General Secretary Maharaj, Swami Saradanandaji, the first General Secretary of the Ramakrishna Mission and Mott, he went and the audience was allowed. And he went and met him and said what the Mother said, and immediately everything was arranged. The gentleman immediately accepted them, all those words. And afterwards, in March 10, 1917, he met, the Saradanandaji met. And on March 26, 1917, Lord Carmichael issued a notice, wrote a letter to the Saradanandaji. The beautiful letter, it is in the biography of Ma Sharadamani Devi. If you read, there the governor is telling, I regret my declaration. Can you imagine? Just Saradanandaji went, a very ordinary monk, and he went and told, Sir, we are humble, we are the holy people, we are not attached with any political movement. And he accepted and he said, I regret my declaration in my darbar in December. The Ramakrishna mission is a people of holy. That's a beautiful language. I am not having the right now before me. The very good people and their help, social help is there, and everything, all the ban was lifted. Is it not the proof that God does help? God does help. Friends, now let us go to the Prathaksha Pramana. So, Shabda Pramana, the scriptural proof, then Anumana Pramana, inference, and now the Prathaksha Pramana. In the direct experience, I will quote Swami Ramakrishnanandaji Maharaj of the Madras. And Swami Vivekananda sent him to Madras. And the Madras is a very orthodox place till now, and it was so difficult to spread the message of Sri Ramakrishna. Ramakrishnanandaji was trying. One day so happened he was not having a single farthing and no food to offer to Sri Ramakrishna. He was not very much eager about his own food, what I am going to eat. He was thinking what to offer to my God, there is nothing. Then he became angry with his own God. He said, well, you are all powerful God, but still you are behaving like this. Okay, I will go bring some fresh the sand from the seashore and offer the sand to you, and myself also take that sand as prasad. He became angry. He fought with the God, and the moment he was going out, he opened the door, and as they say in English, lo, the supply was already there. One gentleman brought so many varieties of food and the vegetables to offer to God. If this is not the grace of God, then what is God? Grace. So this proves that Prathaksha. Friends, I have heard from the mouth of Swami Lokeshwaranandaji, many of you, a very senior monk now, he has passed away. He was there in the cultural center, and he was the founder of the Ramakrishna Mission Narendrapur, the huge institutional organization, ashrama there. He was young, and he was maintaining a small ashrama with few boys, a boys' hostel. The one day he found that there is no money. and he couldn't disclose it to the boys, the young boys, what they will understand. So he was going on praying to the mother and Thakur, what is going to happen, what to do, what not to do. And when the same way he was thinking to go out to get a loan from a neighbor, suddenly one gentleman came and told, Swamiji, I want to donate some money to you. The Lokeshanandaji told, the grace came with that person. Friends, I like to share my personal some experiences that I had. That in Andaman, I was posted over there in 1991. I was a young sannyasi. I got sannyas in 1986. And 1991, the General Secretary from Belur Math, they sent me to Andaman, a completely new place, far away. It's an island. And the Swami In Charge over in the Belur Math, Swami Ishatmananda, many of you know, he was like that. He told, we are sending you to Andaman. If you become successful, then we will bring you back. If you are not successful over there, then whole life you are there imprisoned in Andaman. The Britishers, they used to send the patriots to Andaman for the lifelong jail like that. So I went to Andaman, and in the bank I found only 10,000 rupees. The devotees, they developed the ashrama, and there were 50 orphan people, what to do and what not to do. And slowly, and another danger that came, I will mention that, the administration, the gentleman, he came and he told Swami, this is a very prime land. Our ashrama is in a beautiful place. The one side, left hand side, is the government girls' school, and another right hand side is the government college. The in between the place. So facing the sea, just to cross the road and the sea. So you can imagine the very beautiful place. He came and told, I will give you a complete island. You go and develop the ashram over there, and his idea was that we only meditate. Then I told, no, we do a lot of other things also helping with that, we will take care. You go and meditate, we will give you an island. So like that, I was taken aback and I was afraid what to do and who can help me. So that confusion was going on. Then suddenly I noticed in the local newspaper, one news was published that the then Prime Minister of India, Sri Narasimha Rao, was visiting Andaman. I don't know why, who gave me that idea. And we were so poor in those days in the Andaman ashram. I wrote a postcard to the Prime Minister. They said, we are having the 50 orphan children. So if I came to know that you were visiting Andaman. If you can please visit our ashram and bless the boys, I will be very happy. I posted that. In the posting also you have to walk almost 2 miles because there was nearby there's nothing. After posting the postcard, when I came back, then I thought to myself, hey, what is going to happen? I wrote a postcard to the Prime Minister, it don't reach him. Then I almost forgot what happened. Then suddenly I received the beautiful envelope, and there the Mr. Narasimha Rao, he signed, it was written over there, the Swamiji, it is a blessings that you wanted to invited me to visit, but because of the protocol I cannot. Will you please come to meet me? I will be in that particular place, the governor's place. And he gave me that. With the card, I went on that particular day, and it was a closed meeting only for the officers, the IAS officers and Army, Navy, Air Force officers, government officers. I was the only civilian over there. And it was a beautifully the lighted place, and 3 small, the open the field. So I went to the last one because I knew that I am not supposed to stand in the same line. I went over there, I was waiting that the BBIP came and he was standing, then the national anthem began. All were standing. Afterwards I came to know the system is the governor will introduce the BBIP to the chief secretary, and chief secretary will take him to meet the other officers. But Narasimha Rao came and he was constantly looking at me, and he was a devoted person. That was the first time I was meeting him, and I was not knowing him at all. Then the moment the national anthem was over, he showed his bodyguard perhaps, and they came directly without going for the protocol, without meeting the officers first, straight to me, touched my feet, and then hold my both hands and took my both hands in him and standing very close, and he was telling, Swamiji, I was looking at you and I was thinking how blessed I am. In this evening I am seeing a holy monk. He was a devoted person. And now the administration, all other officers, they were taken aback. First they were thinking how the Swami is here. Who gave him the invitation? Because they knew I was not invited by the state government. So it came directly from him. So obviously they were not knowing, they were unaware, and now this, so they were taken aback. That Dr. Narasimha Rao, he understood that I am a little bit afraid of those people, maybe observing my face. He was a very intelligent person. And he called his private secretary almost loudly and told, give my personal number to the Swamiji, and told me, Swami, anything happened, you just give me a call. I am always available to you. After that whole scenario changed. And then they took me, and I was sitting in one place to giving the coffee, and the BVIP went and meeting the officers. Then one Bengali officer came, Mukherjee, D.P. Mukherjee. I still remember him. So he told, I don't believe in God, and like that. So he was a very nice man. So he came and told, Swamiji, now all officers will come and ask you whether you know this Prime Minister personally or not. He himself asked, do you know him personally? I told no. Then he said, all other officers will come and ask the same question to you. And you said yes. Then it will be easy for you to work over in Andaman. I told, but I really don't know. How can I say yes? It will be, then okay, if you don't say lies, don't tell the truth also. Only smile when they come. I am telling you, it will be helpful. And truly, so the life goes like that. Truly all the chief secretaries and all others, they started coming and say, oh Swami, what a wonderful evening, you were here. Then they will be whispering, the Swami, do you know the BVIP? I only smiled. I didn't say yes or no. Keeping like that, after that everything changed. The one very close friend of ours, he is that engineer, marine engineer. I liked him very much, a very simple person. He once told, the Swamiji, is the Ramakrishna mission, anyone is there who can show miracles? Then I narrated this story to him and told, if this is not miracle, then what is miracle? I was not knowing anyone. But things started changing because the Dr. Narasimha Rao, the then Prime Minister, he just met me. And who arranged this meeting? Must be the Mother, must be the God. So God does help. The friends, I will conclude by telling what happened in 2013 when I came and took charge in our Chicago center. Our economical condition was not at all good. But when I was coming, in between, I must mention that our ex-president of India, who recently passed away, Pranab Mukherjee, I met him too in Delhi for some grant, the government grant. And that time he was in Foreign and Planning Commission, both places. So I went to his Planning Commission office and met him, and he said, give me an appeal. So I was not knowing, so printed appeal I gave. He said, no, you have to write to me, addressing me. So what to do? Then another officer told me, you better go to that officer. He's a Chakravarti, is a devoted person. His wife regularly goes to Ramakrishna Mission. He will help you. And he truly did and gave the wonderful the letter. Then he said, sorry, by this time the minister has gone to the foreign office that is in the south block and very well protected because the prime minister office is there. Unless you are getting the appointment, you cannot go. So I ran over there somehow, took an auto, reached over there and then called him, and somehow I got that opportunity to meet him. When I was about to meet him with that letter, then he was almost going to, I think, so far I can remember, a group of Russian delegates or something like that, the delegates. Then I ran almost. I ran over there in the south block and reached before him. I knew that this is a time is short. So then he said, okay, you have come, and give this letter to my secretary and I will look him. But that Chatterjee told me, see, so many appeals are coming. If he is signing on the letter in the right corner, that means he is going to give the importance. Then I told in a very simple manner, sir, will you please give your signature on the right corner of the letter? Then he started burst in laughter. He said, my God, all secrets have been disclosed to you. So anyway, I need not to sign, you better keep the letter. Friends, truly the help came from him. He liked me so much afterwards. I started receiving the phone call and give me a lot of money, though I could build over there. If you visit Andaman, those who have visited, you know that 2-3 buildings have come up, everything because of the help. But it is not Pranab Mukherjee. Through Pranab Mukherjee, it is Mother, it is Swamiji. In Pranab Mukherjee's office, I saw all the quotations of Swami Vivekananda. And finally, quickly, I like to say, I am convinced that God helps. God gives blessings. In 2013, I came over here, and in the Pranab Mukherjee and our senior Swamijis from the Belur Math, they told Chicago is the center place where from the Swami Vivekananda became the Vivekananda of the world. So you must observe 150th birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda in a befitting manner. No money, no contact. I never knew any devotees, what to do. But suddenly 2 gentlemen came and they told that Swami, we will do it in a great manner. We booked that hotel. What is that hotel? The Hotel Hilton. You know that Mr. and Mrs. Leon, they were there. Mr. and Mrs. Leon's house was there, and Swamiji stayed over there for a whole period from 11 September to 27 September. He stayed in their house and used to go to attend the meeting in the Art Institute from there. So I thought that will be good, and this gentleman, they are very rich and influential. I never knew them, though they are connected with the society for a long time. So they promised help, everything. Then we invited, because they told bring as maximum possible monks. So I invited almost all the monks from the world. 55 monks were invited, including the North America and the South America and everyone. Exactly 20, I think 30 to 20 days before, these 2 came. When already the invitation letter has gone, program ready, they came and told, we are sorry, for some personal reason, some problem is there. We cannot support you. Can you imagine? And I was taken aback. But I didn't say anything to them. I told, it's okay. If you cannot help, then I was thinking what to do. Anyway, I'll write to our Swamis. I'm sorry that I am not getting any sponsors, and it was a mistake. But by that time, almost all of them, they have applied for their visas, and also many of them, they have started purchasing their ticket. So what to do? I think the evening the gentleman came and told, I am withdrawing, I am sorry, I prayed to Mother. Next day I went for a talk, and as because this thought was on the surface of my mind, and I said this without mentioning any name or anything, I told, see how people, they don't keep the promise and put the other in great difficulty. From here the miracle of the Mother started. Two very kind and gentle, the husband and wife, they came to me. They were there in that meeting. They came and they told, Swamiji, we have heard about it. Now in our community they are discussing, whatever they promised, we will give that money to you. And right this moment I am giving you $50,000. Another lady came and she also gave $55,000. They requested me not to mention the name, so I am not. So this way the help came, the unknown faces, unknown people. I was not knowing them, but they helped me, and the program went up so well. Friends, God does give the blessings. When the question we are asking and discussing, does God truly help, bless? Yes, I will say God truly bless, but we have to be ready to get these blessings, and that is the only thing that I must conclude now. Thank you for be with me and listening to that. And any question?
There's two questions. Shudipta Babu is asking, what is the significance of Dashami?
Oh, that is called Vijaya, the Vijaya Dashami. The 9th day is over, 9th day he was defeated, Ravana was defeated. So on 10th day they celebrated that the victory. That's called Vijaya Dashami. In the ancient times, the Hindu kings, they used to go for war on that particular day. They used to observe the puja, the nine nights, and on the 10th they used to go for their war. So that is Vijaya Dashami.
The next question is from Neeta Nagupati. She is asking, how do we inspire people to remember to help all, not only those that are in their social circle?
So Neeta, this is that to inspiration, it should come within. If you are truly, genuinely thinking that you should reach out to the people to help, and as Swami Vivekananda said, that take up one idea, think of it, meditate on that, become a complete part and parcel of that idea, and be sure your presence, your talks will inspire others. Thank you.
The next question is from Devanjali. She is asking, who bears the karma or sanskar, Atma, body, or who?
This we can say is a very good question. It's called Jivatma. It is called Jivatma. Jivatma is the combination of 17 that afterwards sometimes you can find somewhere in the Vedantic books. The first is our Buddhi, and Buddhi is reflected with the Atman, the true Atman, like the sun reflected on the water, like that. The original Atman, the real Atman, reflected on our Buddhi, associated with many others, called the subtle body, Shukshma Atma, that collects all the impressions and that goes to different places. Thank you for the questions. So let us say Shanti 3 times and we conclude. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Jai Durga Mai ki Jai, and happy Dashera, happy Vijaya Dashami.